presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Arizona.
Diamondbacks back home, but with hardly enough time to unpack. Tonight we open a quick three-game interleague series with the White Sox before it's back out on the road for 11 games in 11 days. So let's enjoy the home cooking while we can. It's D-backs baseball on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field, and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthiaume and Bob Brenly along the way. A quick three-game homestand against the Chicago White Sox. Zach Greinke gets the baseball tonight. He has been tremendous lately, Bob. Unbeaten in his last 5 starts.
Yeah, he's been dominating in his last 5 starts. We know that Zach is capable of doing that from start to start, but this has been a real nice run for him over his last 5. He's a perfect 4-0 with a 2.94 ERA. He struck out 46 opposing batters, walked only 5. He can be absolutely dominating when he has everything working.
He's up against right-hander Miguel Gonzalez today. This White Sox lineup, they've got some guys that can hit, including this guy, Avisail Garcia. Now, you might not know his name like Mike Trout, but they have the same batting average. He's the American League's leading hitter.
Yeah, this guy has been raking since day 1 this season. One of the 3 Garcias that the White Sox feature on their roster. This is the one you have to keep an eye out for.
So we're set to go. The first of 3, the Diamondbacks and the White Sox with the roof open at Chase Field. First pitch is coming up shortly on Fox Sports Arizona.
Arizona Diamondbacks baseball on Fox Sports Arizona is brought to you by Gila River Casinos. Experience winning like you've never imagined at the Gila River Casinos, Lone Butte, Bequiva, and Wild Horse Pass. By Chaz Roberts Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Choose Chaz. By Oregano. Step up to the plate for a guaranteed home run at Oregano's, your neighborhood pizza joint. Location statewide. And by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world.
on the mound tonight for the Diamondbacks. The roof is open at Chase Field, and the first pitch is next on Fox Sports Arizona. Sunny, warm day in the Valley. Diamondbacks back home for a 3-game set against the White Sox. The roof is open at Chase Field. And Chicago comes in here tonight having won 3 straight, 3-4 on a current 10-game road trip. Their first visit to Chase Field since 2011. And here's the White Sox lineup, brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Yeah, you're going to want to get yourself a program. Some names you might not recognize. Yolmer Sanchez leading it off at second base. Melky Cabrera out in left field. Jose Abreu down at first base. Avisail Garcia. I didn't write his position down, but I'm assuming he's playing right field.
You are correct, sir.
Todd Frazier at third base. Leury Garcia center field. Tim Anderson at shortstop. Omar Narvaez doing the catching for Miguel Gonzalez.
Your Ram truck starting pitcher for the Diamondbacks is the right-hander Zach Greinke. Well, you nailed it. 5-2 in 9 starts, a 3.09 ERA, unbeaten since April 19th. And tonight, Zach tries to win his 4th consecutive start.
I mentioned he can dominate when he's on top of his game, which he has been recently. Striking out batters in bunches, especially the guys that are free swingers, takes advantage of that aggressiveness, and there's a lot of aggressive hitters in this White Sox lineup.
Little look to the different look to the Diamondbacks defensively tonight. It's brought to you by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Ray Fuentes getting the start in left field tonight. Gregor Blanco in center. David Peralta over in right field. It'll be Lamb and Owings on the left side of the infield with Descalso and Goldie on the right side. Jeff Mathis doing the catching for right-hander Zach Greinke.
John Tumpain has the balls and strikes tonight. He is our plate umpire. The crew chief Ted Barrett is at first base. Angel Hernandez at second and Lance Barksdale at third. And before we get started, BB, time for your Valley Honda dealers. Key to the game.
Well, you mentioned a very tough segment of the schedule for the D-backs. 3 quick games and then we gone back out on the road. 11 games in 11 days. We return back here to Chase Field for 6 games and then back out on the road for 8 games in 11 days. So quite a stretch of the schedule right here for the D-backs.
So we paraphrase, of course. The great Ken Harrelson is working White Sox TV just to our left. Yolmer Sanchez steps into the batter's box. We are set to go. The D-backs and the White Sox, the first of 3 from Chase Field. Yolmer Sanchez has been a productive player for Chicago. You see the numbers, 327 and 2 homers. The longest active hitting streak in the major leagues belongs to Yolmer Sanchez. He's hit safely in his last dozen games. A 400 batting average over that streak. Greinke quickly ahead 0-2. Just pitched with a changeup. It's a ball and 2 strikes. Yolmer is Sanchez's given name, but if you're wondering, oh, why haven't I ever heard of this guy? It's because he's always gone by his middle name, Carlos. Decided to change it this spring. 1 strikeout for Greinke. Back-to-back changeups.
Left fielder.
I mentioned this is a very aggressive, hacking White Sox lineup. Offensively, they're right around the middle of the pack in just about every important offensive category, but their pitching staff ranked second in the American League in earned run average. They've given up the fewest hits in the American League. As a matter of fact, their ERA is exactly the same as the Diamondbacks going into play tonight.
Well, here's one name you likely will recognize. Melky Cabrera looks at a fastball for strike 1. 240. He's homered twice. Now in his 13th major league season, Melky Cabrera. Jack Greinke throwing strikes. There's another changeup, and it's 0-2. Cabrera has hit safely through 3 straight games in 8 of his last 9. White Sox just put up some big offensive numbers over the weekend at Safeco Field in Seattle. Just missed with a fastball, and it's 1-2.
Now, Seattle pitching staff that ranks dead last in the American League in ERA and just about every other pitching category. That's what you're supposed to do. Take advantage of those teams.
Yeah, the Seattle pitching staff has been decimated by injuries. Called strike 3. Went back to the fastball and rings up Melky.
First baseman, number 79, Jose Abreu.
Well, that's when you're in a hitter's head. When you can throw a 92-mile-an-hour fastball right down the middle of the plate on a 2-strike count and he doesn't even offer at it, that means he's trying to think along and guess with the pitcher out there on the mound, and guessed wrong that time.
The dangerous Jose Abreu. Abreu 273, 8 home runs this year. All 8 of his homers have come on the road this season. And he's having a big road trip. He's homered in 3 of the first 7 games on this White Sox roadie. Heating up after a slow start. On the ground in the hole, Chris Owings gets over there and throws him out. Good start for Zack Greinke. Diamondbacks coming up a 10-pitch first. Sox to start it off, and your Ram truck starter for Chicago tonight is the right-hander Miguel Gonzalez. He is 3-4 in 8 starts, a 4.29 ERA. Gonzalez has had kind of a weird year. He opened up the season 3-0, but he's lost his last 4 starts.
His ERA after 5 starts this year sat at 3.27. In the month of May, in 3 starts, it's 6.23. He's got a 4-pitch mix. He'll try to move the ball around, keep it out of the middle of the zone, but has not had a lot of luck doing that.
Throws a lot of sliders. Miguel Gonzalez. Gregor Blanco will lead it off for the Diamondbacks out there in center field tonight. Todd Frazier comes in on the grass at third, and there's strike 1. Blanco 6 for 29 with the D-backs, a 207 batting average. Gonzalez's biggest issue recently has been wildness. He's walked 9 batters in his last 2 starts. Losses to the Padres and the Angels. Rick Renteria, the new White Sox skipper. On the ground to second, Yolmer Sanchez, backhand sliding stop, but Blanco beats it out. Here's the lineup for Torey Lovullo's Diamondbacks, brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers.
Good start. Gregor Blanco, the center fielder, with an infield base hit. David Peralta in right field, making his way to the plate right now. He'll be followed by Paul Goldschmidt at first base, Jake Lamb at third, Chris Owings at shortstop, Daniel Descalso at second base tonight, Ray Fuentes out in left field, Jeff Mathis doing the catching for right-hander Zach Greinke.
Peralta red hot right now. He's gone 13 plate appearances without swinging and missing a pitch. He's barreling up everything these days. Looks at ball 1. There's a fastball from Gonzalez. Peralta 324 and 4 homers. He singled as a pinch hitter yesterday in San Diego. That followed David's 4-hit game Saturday at Petco Park. He homered in the first game of that series against the Padres. One and one.
Boy, and a lot of his hits lately have come to the opposite field. We know that most teams play the exaggerated pull shift for David Peralta, and in San Diego he just kept slapping the ball the other way. Pitched him up and out over the plate, and he went right with it.
He's seen fastballs so far, but if Gonzalez throws him any breaking stuff up there, Peralta will almost certainly go to left or left center field with it. He's among the major league leaders in that category. Check the swing. Yes, he went. Here's the Gonzalez slider. 1-2 on Peralta.
And Gonzalez had back-to-back starts earlier this season against the Yankees and the Royals when he was absolutely dominating. Through 8 1/3 against the Yankees, gave up only 4 hits and 1 run. Through 8 innings against Kansas City, gave up 2 hits and no earned runs in that game.
Blanco gets a good jump, and Peralta fouls it off. That was a changeup. If Gonzalez does throw something in the strike zone these days, it's hardly ever a fastball. His pitches in the zone have been breaking balls, off-speed pitches, at nearly twice the league average, in fact. And his favorite pitch is that slider. He'll throw it a lot, even when he's behind in the count. Ahead of Peralta, a ball and 2 strikes. Blanco holds it first, and David hits it right back to the mound. Tim Anderson for 1, and they turn the double play. Our Eye on Defense for the White Sox is sponsored by Nationwide Vision Centers.
Well, we were hoping to give you a Garcia outfield, but we only got 2 of them. Melky Cabrera starting in left field. Across the infield, it'll be Todd Frazier at third, Tim Anderson at second base, Yolmer Sanchez at second base, rather. Tim Anderson at short, Jose Abreu at first base, Omar Narvaez doing the catching for the right-hander Miguel Gonzalez.
Here's Paul Goldschmidt, 310 and 10 home runs. First pitch curveball from Gonzalez. Goldie 3 hits, a couple of walks in the San Diego series. He leads the major leagues in walks. He's 5th in the majors in on-base percentage. Anderson at shortstop. We've played one, the White Sox and the Diamondbacks. No score from Chase Field.
To the second with Zach Greinke on the mound, and what a difference a year makes, and perhaps a battery mate as well. Last year, through his first 9 starts, Zach had an ERA just over 5. This year he boasts a 3.19 with Jeff Mathis behind the plate in each of his starts. Lovella said the key to their success is their deep trust they have in each other. He said if Jeff lays something down, Zach just does it. There's no shaking off. Meanwhile, Jeff told me he's enjoyed working with such a student of the game. The two of them putting a lot of time in behind the scenes to make this success carry out on the field.
Well, it's been a successful start so far. 2 strikeouts in a 10-pitch first. And now here's the American League's leading hitter, Avisail Garcia. First pitch swinging, bounces it to shortstop for CO. Nice scoop by Goldie at first. 4 up, 4 down for Greinke.
And so far he's had 2 4-pitch strikeouts, a 2-pitch ground out to short, and that right there by Garcia, which is following the pattern. Against the Pirates 2 starts ago, 12 of his 24 outs were retired on 4 pitches or fewer. Against the Mets last time out, 13 of 21 on 4 pitches or fewer. A combined 25 of 45 of his outs on 4 pitches or less. Fewer, excuse me.
2 strikeouts, 2 ground balls so far, and strike 1 to Todd Frazier, who's coming off a career-high 40 homer season last year. This year, though, a different story. 195 and 4 home runs.
Boy, and that efficiency, throwing strikes, getting the ball put in play early in at bats, keeps the defense on their toes. Everything about it works for Zach Greinke. Quality strikes around the edges of the zone with some movement, changing speeds, getting early contact. You really get the feeling when Zach walks a batter, it's because he would rather face the guy in the on-deck circle, or it lends itself better to the game situation to pitch around a certain guy and let him take his walk if he doesn't chase.
Well, he got ahead early, missed with a fastball. That last pitch was a slider, so Frazier's up 2-1 here. Just dropped that slider in there at 85. It's 2-2. Hard to ask for more than what Zach Greinke has given the Diamondbacks as of late. There's a Garcia on deck.
Of course there is.
Third base for Jake Lamb. 3 consecutive ground ball outs for Greinke. 2 down in the second. Zach Greinke 4th in the National League in strikeouts, behind only DeGrom, Scherzer, and Samardzija. 7th in innings pitched, top 10 in the National League with that 3.09 ERA. Leury Garcia, the center fielder, 288, 4 home runs. Just back from a right elbow bruise after he was hit by a pitch. He missed a couple of games. First pitch fastball, and it's 0-1. Garcia, switch hitter, about 270 from the left side, including all 4 of his homers. The Greinke curveball, that's a big time swing and a miss. It's 0-2. We're only 6 batters in. We've seen everything. Change up, sliders, curveballs, fastballs. Fastballs in the zone, fastballs just off the zone. Down and away here. Got him. 6 up, 6 down for Greinke. He's got 3 strikeouts. No score at Chase Field. National League Player of the Week last week, it's Jake Lamb. Jake's week, our State Farm winning combo. 412 last week with 4 homers, and he knocked in 10. And it's Lamb, the National League Player of the Week, announced today, who leads off the Diamondbacks second against right-hander Miguel Gonzalez.
Second time Jake Lamb has won that particular award. Last year, the week of July 17th, he was the National League Player of the Week.
White Sox put the shift on against Lamb. There's a first pitch curveball from Gonzalez. Again, if he throws pitches in the strike zone, it's rarely a fastball. Frazier, the only infielder on the left-hand side. Missed with a fastball that time, and it's 1-1. Jake batting .288 now with 11 home runs. 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, however, against lefty Clayton Richard yesterday in San Diego. That snapped an 8-game hitting streak. And again, he wants to throw that fastball. He doesn't want to throw it for a strike, and he's behind 2-1.
Throws a couple of different fastballs. A 4-seamer that'll be fairly true, fairly straight, and a 2-seamer that has just a little wink of movement as it gets up there into the hitting zone.
There's a fastball in the strike zone, 2-2. He throws that slider more than any other pitch. A quarter of the pitches he throws up there will be Gonzalez's slider. Slow curveball. He's got a split finger pitch that he uses as a changeup as well. Mentioned that Gonzalez has been wild lately. Losses to the Padres and the Angels. He's walked 9 in his last 2 starts. He walked a season high 5 in his loss at Anaheim last Wednesday. Had a 4-0 lead in that game, but walked 4 batters in the 2nd inning, including 3 walks in a span of 4 hitters. Bounce to first. Abreu clanks it, and it rolls into right field. Well, Jose Abreu's defense has not been his calling card at first base, and we just saw why.
Shortstop number 16.
Topspin ground ball hit a few steps to his right, just clanks it off the heel of his glove right there. Relatively routine play for a first baseman, but Abreu can't come up with it. Jake Lamb on safely on the air on the first baseman.
Lamb aboard E3. Here's Chris Owings, the shortstop, batting 5th tonight. 323 and 5 home runs. Chris was 0 for 4 against Clayton Richard yesterday in San Diego. He started in right field, and that snaps CO's 6-game hitting streak. First pitch swinging, lifts it up to right center field. Garcia is there.
That error at first base by Jose Abreu, the 32nd error on the season for the White Sox. Only the Red Sox and the Oakland Athletics have made more errors in the American League.
Well, Torey Lovullo making an extra effort today to get some left-hand bats in there against Gonzalez. So he's got Fuentes starting in left field. He's on deck. Descalso up there. He gets the start at second base tonight for Brandon Drury. White Sox shift accordingly. Frazier still the only defender on the left-hand side. Slider is strike 1. Descalso 188. He's homered 3 times. Walked and singled in Friday's game at Petco Park. Change up in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Miguel Gonzalez pitched very well over his first 4 starts this year. Allowed just 1 run on 4 hits in 8 1/3 at Yankee Stadium. That was in the middle of April. Beat the Royals in his next start. Gave up only 1 run on 2 hits in 8 innings of work, but has not won since. 4 starts, 4 losses. Descalso hits one through the shift. Anderson is over there, scoops it up as Lamb moves into second. 2 outs. That's a 6-3 putout.
Hey fans, the D-backs home run tonight means a free jumbo jack tomorrow at participating Jack-in-the-Box locations with the purchase of a large drink.
Number 14.
2 down, an RBI chance for Ray Fuentes, getting the start in left field tonight for Yasmani Tomas. Ray so far 2 for 15 in 5 games with the D-backs since his recall from Reno. He was hitting .376 down there, 4th in the Coast League with that batting average at that time. He did play some left field at Reno. In fact, when Ray was called up, he had hit more than .470 during a 21-game stretch with the Aces. He was one of the best players in the league. Takes a big cut at that Gonzalez slider, and he's down 0-2. Fastball's in there for a strike. Fuentes caught looking, and Gonzalez works around the error by Abreu and keeps it scoreless here at Chase. Boston White Sox. Fans, if you haven't heard, there's a great new way to get to Chase Field, and very inexpensively this summer. It's called the Ballpark Summer Pass. And when you buy the Summer Pass online at dbacks.com/summer, you'll get every June and July home game, all of them for only $50. That's right. 25 games, only $50. That's $2 a game.
Wow.
Limited quantities are available, and you have to do it online. dbacks.com/ballpark. As the shortstop Tim Anderson leads off the White Sox third. He didn't go, says Ted Barrett. Anderson 264 and 5 homers. Yeah, this is a great initiative launched by the D-backs just a couple of days ago. All June and July home games, only $50, and that allows you to get a seat for all 25 home games coming up the next 2 months with the Ballpark Summer Pass. It delivers tickets directly to your mobile device. All you have to do is use the MLB.com Ballpark app. Just click on there, it gives you a ticket, $50 for the whole 2 months. You never know where your seat's going to be. And if you want, you can upgrade using the same app, so it's all on your phone, quick and easy, and very, very cheap. It's a great idea.
Yeah, it really is. We got the Padres and Brewers coming in second week of June. Got the Phillies and the Cardinals and the Rockies coming in at the end of June. In July, you got the Reds, the Nationals, and the Braves. Some good teams.
Yeah, you will guarantee yourself a ticket in the outfield reserve seating area for every June and July home game, with options to upgrade, but it only costs you $50. Slider from Greinke, and it's 2-2. And what's great about that, besides basically $2 a game, is it's just so easy. It's all done right from your phone. There's no credit cards, anything like that. You just hit the app, hit a couple of buttons, and you're in. So far for Zack Greinke, 3 ground ball outs and 3 strikeouts. He's set down all 6 White Sox he's faced. This is a guy, Tim Anderson, who's really heating up right now. Hitting almost .430 in his last 10 games, including 3 home runs. He homered yesterday in Seattle. And he's worked at full against Greinke, 3-2. In fact, Anderson has multiple hits in 7 of his last 10 games.
This guy, however, is a WW. Won't walk. He's walked 4 times this year and 148 at bats.
3-2 from Greinke. Got him. Went to the slider and gets his 4th strikeout.
Catcher, number 38, Omar Narvaez.
White Sox catching situation is a little dicey right now. This is Omar Narvaez, 217, only 2 extra base hits. Giovanni Soto is out for at least 3 months. He just had elbow surgery, so they're going with some of their younger guys, career minor league types. Narvaez in there, 25 years old. There's strike 1. He's in a 3 for 26 right now. But 2 of those hits came in a start behind the plate Saturday in their win at Seattle. Narvaez can be a fairly patient hitter up there. He's walked more than he struck out this year. Base hit. First White Sox base runner tonight. Here's the pitcher, Miguel Gonzalez.
Pitcher, number 58, Miguel Gonzalez.
He's looking down for the signs because that's what he's seen National League pitchers do in this situation.
Nick Capper down there coaching at third. In fact, he's got such little experience here. Gonna have to do this person to person. Miguel Gonzalez. It's been his first 4 big league seasons with Baltimore. Now in his 2nd season with the White Sox, so he's just not used to hitting. 0 for 10 career.
comes Lamb in from third. Gonzalez squares to bunt, takes a strike.
Not the most spirited effort there on the first delivery from Zack Greinke, trying to get that bunt down. He missed that ball by about 8 inches.
Oldie crashing again. Jake Lamb in from third. It's 1-1 on Gonzalez.
I think Zach wanted that pitch. That looked like a pretty good fastball right out there on the outside corner.
Pops it up. Mathis lets it drop. And he cut down Narvaez heading into second. Two-6 on the put outfielder's choice brings up Yolmer Sanchez.
Pretty heads up play right there by Jeff Mathis. Could have easily caught that ball in the air.
Second baseman.
But you know, why not erase that lead runner at second base, keep him out of scoring position, and make the opposing pitcher run the bases.
Sanchez struck out to lead off the ball game. It's about time we had a Yolmer in the big leagues. Long overdue.
Long overdue.
Just gets a piece of that changeup. Mathis hangs on, and it's 0-1.
That was a story Stoney told us about. Steve Stone was in the booth earlier today, giving us some background on some of these White Sox players, and said that the only person that called him Yolmer was his wife when she was mad at him.
So he just decided to go with that. I guess she's mad at him all the time. Stone Pony was in here earlier. Yeah, he used to go by his middle name, which was Carlos. Yolmer is much more memorable. He's really been heating up as of late. Mentioned that 12-game hitting streak. He's taken most of the time at second base away from Tyler Saladino. And Rick Renteria has moved Yolmer up in the batting order too, batting leadoff. There's a Greinke fastball, and it's 1-2 strikes.
A little extra velo today for Zack Greinke. He's thrown a couple of fastballs and have been up there at 94. We're used to seeing him right topping out right around 92.
Mathis hangs on to the foul tip. A changeup from Greinke, his 5th strikeout. No score. The White Sox and the Diamondbacks.
Gonzalez. But first, it's time for the Unlimited Baseball break, brought to you by T-Mobile. Mike Trout, a .350 batting average this season, the same batting average as Avisail Garcia. Having another big kind of Mike Trout year. Adam Jones, 125 career home runs at Camden Yards, the most ever at Oriole Park.
Leading off for the D-backs.
Yep, Mathis, the bat has been coming around as of late. He's hit safely in 3 straight games, and each of his last 5 starts in there at 184 and 2 homers.
You get the feeling the Mike Trout Triple Crown talk will begin shortly. Second in home runs, among the league leaders in RBIs, as you mentioned, tied for the league lead in batting average, and doesn't show any signs of slowing down.
Strike 1 to Mathis. Angels are winning at Tampa Bay right now, 3-2. They're in the 8th inning in St. Pete. At the Trop. The Trop. Headed for the radio booth, and Mike Farron cowering under the desk. 0-2 on Mathis with Greinke on deck. Roof is open, outfield panels closed on a comfortable night here at Chase Field. Struck him out on a curveball. Second strikeout for Gonzalez. 1 down in the 3rd.
Pitcher number 21, Zach Greinke.
There's Zach Greinke. 1 for 19. He's usually more of a hitter than that, but you remember last year he was rolling along, then took that big swing and a miss in a game and strained his oblique and was out 6 weeks. Takes a big hack at that one and shoots it toward the right field corner foul. .210 career hitter with 6 home runs, Zach Greinke.
Hawk Harrelson stuck his head in the booth after we did the interview for the pregame show and said, "Hey, have you ever seen Zach Greinke play golf?"
It always comes down to that.
Yeah, it always does eventually with Hawk.
He's got a bad oblique.
I said, no, I've never seen him hit a golf ball. He played with him down in Florida, where he makes his off-season home, and Zach was playing at the same club that particular day, and they happened to get hooked up, and Zach was regularly hitting 340, 350 off the tee, according to Hawk. I wouldn't be a bit surprised. Zach is such a good athlete. I don't know if there's anything he can't do.
Well, in your pregame conversation with the bird of prey, the Hawk, you talked about when he played in the British Open with Jack Nicklaus. How about that?
You know, he actually used golf, professional golf, as a threat at contract time a couple of different times in his career. Either give me what I want or I'll just quit baseball and go play golf.
I remember when Dick O'Connell traded him for the Red Sox. He went into his office and said, "Now, Richard, that's a heck of a trade you just made. One problem, I ain't going." I mean, he had all kinds of stuff going on. But yeah, it was funny to hear him tell, "Yeah, I 3-putted 11 times." He still remembers.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, this is 40, 50 years ago almost. 3-2 on Greinke.
And it's disputed. There are several other names that have been credited with inventing the batting glove, but I choose to believe it was Hawk Harrelson. Went and played 18 holes in the morning and was running late for the ballpark and got to the stadium and had his golf glove in his back pocket and decided to wear it.
He hit a lot of home runs at Fenway Park. Greinke sends one to Sanchez at second. Yalmer collects that one. Throws him out for the outfield grass. 2 down.
Hey fans, anytime the D-backs score 5 runs or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
Well, of course, I grew up in Boston watching Hawk Harrelson do Red Sox games on WSBK TV 38 with Dick Stockton, and Hawk would always let you know who the golfers on the team were, who couldn't play really. And it would always come down to, boy, that Jim Ed Rice, he can hit a golf ball. Gregor Blanco
Of course, you know who the best all-time was.
Yes.
Yes.
I was going to go there, but we had such a limited amount of time to work with in the pregame show, because I know you were a big Yaz fan, and boy, there is no bigger Yaz fan in the world than Hawk Harrelson.
He is a New England icon, Carl Yastrzemski. But I remember the Hawk was doing the game that with Dick Stockton in the Fenway Park dugout when Billy Martin went after Reggie Jackson.
Really?
I remember watching that game vividly as a kid. You were like, what's happening down there? 1-2 on Blanco.
Well, I was a Hawk Harrelson fan briefly when he was a player. He came to the Cleveland Indians at the tail end of his career.
Yeah.
Hit, I believe, 27 home runs or so in part of a season, and then the next spring broke his leg and never really was able to regain the form. I mean, he led the American League in RBI one year.
1968, 109 RBIs. He hit 35 home runs that year and was third in the MVP voting in 1968, his only All-Star season. But he had some big years at 35 homers in 68, 30 homers in 69 between the Red Sox and the Indians. Broke in with the Kansas City A's in 1963. Blanco skies one right center field. Larry Garcia's out there. Well, we are through 3 with the roof open. The D-backs and the White Sox scoreless. White Sox and D-backs. D-backs fans, don't forget to stop by your local Fry's and stock up on your favorite Pepsi products using your VIP card. You'll earn D-backs rewards points, and you can also win one of 6 suites to an upcoming D-backs game courtesy of Pepsi. See the in-store display for official rules and details. Melky Cabrera leads off the Chicago 4th against Zach Greinke, who has struck out 5 so far and given up just 1 hit. And Omar Narvaez singled. Melky struck out looking his first time up. White Sox bats have been rolling coming in here. They just won the final 3 games of a 4-game set in Seattle. They beat the Mariners 16-1 on Saturday, 8-1 yesterday. They had lost 10 of 14 before putting together that 3-game winning streak in Seattle. Swing and a miss by Melky. Mathis can't find it and recovers the 6th strikeout by Greinke.
Like another changeup. Actually, a slider with a lot of downward movement that time. Almost snuck underneath the glove of Jeff Mathis right there. Hit off of his right foot and then hit off the home plate umpire John Tumpaine's left foot and stayed right there for him to retrieve it and throw on to Goldie for the out.
Jose Abreu grounded out on the first pitch he saw his first time up. Curveball from Greinke, and it's 0-1. Jose Abreu, a guy Rick Renteria says has started to heat up a little as of late. In a good place right now, giving Chicago solid at bats. Tied him up inside with a fastball, and it's 0-2. Chases a slider. 7 strikeouts for Greinke through 3 2/3. He has now struck out 3 batters in a row.
Hey fans, we invite you to participate in Gila River game nights by signing up at one of the interactive kiosks located right here at Chase Field during any D-backs home game, and hopefully you'll have better luck than the gentleman that competed in the match game tonight.
Oh yeah, he got off to a good start, and then the Boo Birds came out when he floundered a little bit, and boy, he went down in flames there at the end. You have got to nail the match game here, or it's rough.
He was calling out numbers that weren't even on the board.
Yeah, it's got away from him pretty quickly. Avisail Garcia, the American League's leading hitter, grounded out his first time up. Again, in with a fastball from Greinke, but he missed, and it's 1-0.
That strikeout of Abreu. The 5th time in the game already Zack Greinke's had an 0-2 count on a White Sox hitter.
You know what you get? You get a lot of he gones.
He gone.
Coming in with that heat against some of these righties. It's 1-1 now. Garcia coming off a rare 0 for 3 yesterday in Seattle. 4 multi-hit games in his last 6. In fact, in their 16-1 win over the Mariners Saturday, he became just the 3rd White Sox player ever with 4 extra base hits and 6 RBIs in 1 game. He homered twice and doubled twice. It's a pretty good day. Of course, that Mariners pitching staff is in absolute shambles right now. You have a day like that, you can get named Player of the Week. Change up in 1-2. Greinke a strike away from getting the side in order. 1-2-3. He has struck out the last 3 he's faced, now ahead of Garcia. 1-2. 45 pitches, 33 strikes. Just got a piece of that slider.
Took a little more off of that one. I mentioned his fastball velocity is up a little bit tonight. Also, the slider velocity is up. I guess all that hand wringing in spring training over the drop in velocity was probably a little premature.
It's funny because he's increased that slider velocity, and that seems to have made the difference for him over the last month. Drives one to center, right at Blanco. Bottom 4 on the way, still no score. Time now for the mini countryman player profile. It's the red-hot David Peralta who leads off the bottom of the fourth against Miguel Gonzalez. How about this for David? Last 26 games, he's hit almost 400.
Leads the majors with that batting average over his last 26 games. Some other names on that list: Justin Turner second, Ryan Zimmerman third, Mike Trout fourth, and Buster Posey fifth. Good company for David.
Now the second time through the order for the Diamondbacks against Miguel Gonzalez. It's about time to start doing some damage against this guy who has lost his last 4 starts coming into tonight, but he's retired the last 6 batters he's faced. Again, the White Sox have the shift on against the freight train. Todd Frazier, the only infielder on the left-hand side, midway between second and third. Sanchez, the second baseman, way out there in short right field. Peralta checks his swing and takes a ball. 3-0. There's the White Sox on the right-hand side. Anderson, the shortstop, right in front of second base umpire Angel Hernandez. We go back to that number we just saw for David Peralta. It started April 16th, just over a month ago. He was hitting 178 at that point. Now he's got it up to 324. Full count, 3-2. Goldie on deck, Lamb in the hole. 2, 3, and 4 due up here in the D-backs fourth. Still only one hit. That was Blanco's infield single to lead off the ball game for the D-backs. Anderson at shortstop. Right into that shift. Another ground ball out for Gonzalez, who's retired 7 straight. Here's Goldie. He lined out to Anderson at short his first time up. .308 and 10 homers for Goldie. 3 hits in a series at Petco Park over the weekend. First pitch curveballs in there. Goldie's platoon splits are a little startling. He's exactly 100 points better against right-hand pitching, which is odd for a guy who hit .352 versus lefties last year. Broken bat. That one's over the glove of Anderson and into left. So 1-out single.
Just a little bit, but we know Goldie's strong enough to muscle that ball out into the shallow outfield area over the head of a leaping Tim Anderson that time.
A 1-out base runner for the National League Player of the Week. It's Jake Lamb. Jake reached on a Jose Abreu error his first time up. Jake Lamb just crushing righties right now at better than a .340 clip. 10 of his 11 homers against right-hand pitchers. And he always lays off those high fastballs, but against righties, especially lately, not chasing curves, not chasing sliders, really waiting for his pitch and doing a lot of damage. Only 11 for 13 in his stolen base attempts. Dave McKay down there coaching at first.
Now on the season, the Pirates, or rather the White Sox, have allowed 18 stolen bases in 23 attempts. The guy behind the plate, Narvaez, 3 out of 11 this season caught stealing.
Fastball is in there, and it's 0-1 on Lamb. Popped it up shallow center. Larry Garcia coming in. He's out there with a shortstop Anderson. 2 down. Here's Chris Owings now.
Shortstop, Chris Owings.
Just took a bite out of the baseball. I'm not sure that's totally legal.
Can you do that?
I don't know.
As long as you're off the rubber, you can bite the baseball, right? Isn't that the rule?
I'm not sure what he was doing right there.
You can take a bite out of crime. You just can't take a bite out of the baseball. Owings flying out to center in his first at bat today. Boy, now that left shoulder is fully recovered from that labrum injury, CO really getting back into a much more aggressive approach up there. We've seen him hit leadoff. We've seen him bat cleanup this year. Batting 5th tonight. He's able to catch that ball a little deeper in the hitting zone, so he's able to go to right center, stays on the ball to left center field. 50 pitches for Gonzalez, 37 strikes. He's got Goldie at first and 2 outs. Lays off that breaking ball, and it's 2-1. And you know it's got to help Chris to know that that shoulder's healthy, because he played a whole year where it wasn't. And it took a full calendar year to get that strength back in that shoulder. It feels like he can really just let it go up there at the plate now. Hard, aggressive swings and not worry about it. Goldie holds on the 2-1, and Owings takes a fastball for ball 3.
Long look down by CO. 3-1 a lot of times for a lot of managers is an automatic run count. You put it on the hitter. If it's a strike, I expect you to put a good swing on it. If it's out of the zone, take it for ball 4. But if it's in that strike zone, you've got to protect the runner.
Goldie holds it first, and CO fouls it back. Descalso on deck. Some extra left-hand bats in the lineup for Torey Lovullo tonight against the righty Gonzalez. A guy who has really struggled lately. He's lost his last 4 starts, but so far he's given up only 2 hits, both singles. And retired 7 straight before the Goldie base hit. 2 outs, 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here it is. Goldie takes off from first, and that's ball 4. First walk of the ball game issued by Gonzalez.
Second baseman, Daniel
Descalso grounded out in his first at bat. Giants in action tonight. They're beating the Cubs at Wrigley Field 6-4 in the 8th inning. Rockies 8-1 winners at Philadelphia, the cradle of freedom. Descalso gets into one and drives it deep right center field. And there it goes. Daniel Descalso, that's his 4th. A 3-run homer, and it's 3-0 Diamondbacks.
Daniel Descalso picks on a hanging breaking ball, 79 right in the middle of the strike zone. That was going to be down for extra bases one way or the other, but just does sneak over the fence out there near the RamTrucks.com pool area.
Jumbo Jack, a free Jumbo Jack tomorrow. The purchase of a large drink from Jack in the Box. Here's Ray Fuentes. Boy, Descalso is dialed in that pool area.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. We were going to take a shot of the White Sox outfielders because the center fielder Leury Garcia was way over in the gap in left center field for Daniel Descalso. Right fielder, the Avisail Garcia, was played close to the line in right. Boy. They were giving him a monster gap in right center field, and that's where he hits the ball.
I think we need to throw you a life raft or something. 2-0 to Fuentes. Well, the White Sox do lead the league in difficult pronunciations.
Yes, they do.
They have an outstanding broadcast team. I don't know how they handle it. You start behind the plate, and you've got Omar Narvaez. Then you get out to center field, and it's Leury Garcia. And then the big one, you go over to right field. Avisail.
Okay.
Avisail Garcia. Here's the 2-1 to Fuentes. I do wish that they would put all three Garcias in the outfield at the same time.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
We talked to Rick Renteria about that. Just for one inning anyway. Because even we can't screw that up. Fly ball, Garcia's under it.
Garcia's under it.
2 down.
Garcia calls him off.
Here's a strike, and it's a full count, 3-2. Jeff Mathis, the catcher, would be next. Drives it to center, but Leury Garcia is there, and that's the end of the inning. Daniel Descalso, his 4th home run, gets a hanging nothing ball from Gonzalez and takes it out of here. It's 3-0 Diamondbacks. Has given the D-backs a lead over the White Sox here. Hey fans, tomorrow don't forget it's Twitter Tuesday. Where is Webby? Oh, there he is. He's checking out the Twitter right now. Brandon Webb takes over the Fox Sports Arizona Twitter account. He'll answer all your questions during innings 3 through 5 of the D-backs and the White Sox game. So be sure to connect with Webby. Twitter Tuesday at Fox Sports AZ is the handle on the Twitter. High-level conference there with Todd Walsh. Didn't mean to interrupt. Todd Frazier leads off the 5th against Zach Greinke. Frazier grounded out his first time up. I didn't know Webby was a big Twitterer.
I had no idea.
Yeah. There's nothing that he doesn't do, really. He's a bit of a renaissance man.
Webby's been called a lot of things. A renaissance man, probably not near the top of the list.
Isn't it about time to take the whole camper out there to Kentucky?
Yeah.
That annual pilgrimage they make out to the Bluegrass State. Can tweet him about that. Ask him tomorrow, Twitter Tuesday at Fox Sports AZ.
Greinke 50 pitches, 36 strikes. They're just they're watching cartoons in there.
Yeah, with the captions on.
Well, it helps. Frazier really trying to dig his way out after a very slow start. He opened up the year 3 for 33. And he's hitting under 200 for the season. A lot of White Sox fans want to see Matt Davidson get more time at third. Former Diamondback first-round pick. First base side, Descalso behind Goldie. Frazier 0 for 2, one down in the 5th. That's 5 in a row set down by Greinke, who has still given up just 1 hit.
Center fielder, Leori Garcia.
Here is the center fielder, Leori Garcia. The strikeout victim his first time up. Greinke has punched out 7 tonight. He's yet to walk a batter. Carves one foul in front of Nick Capper at third, and it's 0-1. Leori Garcia had played in fewer than 20 games with the White Sox in each of the previous 2 seasons, but now this year suddenly he's having a nice year. He's been given a chance to play just about every day in center field. He's played all over the place the last few years, trying to prove that he can be an everyday big league center fielder and not just kind of a super utility guy. A lot of scouts would tell you that's maybe where he's best served.
He will run the occasional Z pattern after a fly ball out there in center field.
That's one in the air, pretty deep right field corner. Peralta will watch it go. Leori Garcia, that's his 5th of the year, and the White Sox are on the board. It's 3-1. Well, he runs really well, and he'll also do that, give you the occasional home run.
Yeah, sneaky pull power on pitches inside. It's a big breaking ball working its way down and in. He catches it out in front of home plate. The only question was fair or foul. Unfortunately, it's on the fair side of the pole that time.
10th home run given up this year by Zack Greinke. Here's the shortstop, Tim Anderson, who swings and misses at a slider. Doubles up on the slider, and Greinke jumps ahead 0-2. Anderson really had a slow start. He hit barely 200 in April, but he's batting over 360 in May. Multiple hits in 7 of his last 10 games. He's been red hot lately. But he looks at a fastball for strike 3. 8 strikeouts for Greinke. 2 down in the 5th.
Hey, fans, don't miss the D-backs Brewers series June 9th through the 11th. The first 20,000 fans to the game on Saturday, June 10th will get a really soft, nice, big pool towel courtesy of Gila River Casinos. The perfect collectible for the pool this summer. And on Sunday, June 11th, Baxter has invited you and all his mascot friends to celebrate his birthday and MLB's Play Ball Weekend. The first 10,000 kids in attendance will get a bat and ball set. Get tickets at dbacks.com.
Omar Narvaez, the catcher, singled up the middle his first time up. He's gotten one of the 2 White Sox hits. Boy, Greinke rings up Anderson. It's happened several times tonight, Bob, that he's thrown fastballs right down the middle and almost caught the White Sox hitters by surprise.
Well, as you mentioned earlier in the ball game, he's really mixed it up from the very first pitch of the game. He's thrown 4 or 5 curveballs, a lot of sliders and change-ups, and when he zips that fastball in there, especially after a series of off-speed pitches, it tends to catch hitters by surprise. Just can't pull the trigger.
He struck out 4 the last 7 he's faced. 1-1 on Narvaez. It's a bouncer to second, right to Descalso. But the White Sox get on the board. Leori Garcia's 5th of the year makes it a 3-1 D-backs lead.
6th inning at Chase Field. Don't forget, D-backs fans, if you can't catch the games on your television, stream them live on one of your 400 mobile devices with Fox Sports Go. It's presented by your Valley Honda dealers. Download the app and take Fox Sports Arizona and your D-backs with you wherever you go. Jeff Mathis leads off the 5th against Miguel Gonzalez. Diamondbacks 3 runs on 3 hits. White Sox 1 run on 2 hits as Greinke and Gonzalez have dueled here. Mathis a strikeout victim his first time up. Jeff Mathis, the bat has become pretty productive as of late. He's hit safely now in 7 of his last 9 starts. Batting better than .280 over that span after a long dry spell through most of April.
Well, you love to get that number 8 hitter on leading off an inning. Gives you some options with Zack Greinke waiting in the on-deck circle. We know he can bunt. We know he can swing the bat.
1-2 on Mathis. D-backs took a 3-0 lead in the 4th on Daniel Descalso's 3-run homer. White Sox answered in the top of the 5th, a solo homer by Leury Garcia. High fastball is strike 3, says John Tumpain. 3rd strikeout for Gonzalez. He's got Mathis twice.
It looked like a high sinker. A lot of tailing action on that pitch at 92. Almost got back to the corner.
Zack Greinke grounded out in his first at bat tonight. Only here for 3 games, fans. Roof is supposed to be open again tomorrow night. Patrick Corbin on the mound against the White Sox. Dylan Covey. Then a getaway day game Wednesday afternoon. Randall Delgado, it was announced today, will pick up that start against very good lefty Jose Quintana. And then it's right back on the road. Torey Lovullo's ball club in a stretch during which they played 22 of 31 away from Chase Field. So get down here while you can. dbacks.com/tickets.
Yeah, with Randall Delgado taking that start on Wednesday, it would really do the Diamondbacks a big favor if Zack Greinke and Patrick Corbin can both pitch deeply into the ball game and save that bullpen, because you know Randall's going to be somewhat limited in that start on Wednesday.
Oh, Andrew Chafin's back there giving him a hard time. Greinke looks at a 3-0 strike. Yeah, they're going to go with a bullpen game on Wednesday after Taijuan Walker was scratched from that start. He's got a small blister on his right index finger, Taijuan. Probably could have pitched through it, but it was really affecting his fastball command, so let's sit him down. Anderson, a hard one hopper, sets and throws.
Hey fans, MLB.com at bat is your #1 mobile app for live Arizona Diamondbacks baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Arizona Diamondbacks home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and our favorite, more. Download MLB.com at bat today.
2 more games against the White Sox, then it's a very difficult road trip. 11 games in 11 days. We leave after the game on Wednesday. 4 in Milwaukee, 3 in Pittsburgh, and 4 in Miami. Gonzalez now at 70 pitches. Here's Gregor Blanco, who's 1 for 2. You, however, will take part of the road trip off.
I'm on assignment, is what I like to say.
Deep undercover.
Yeah, 11 games in 11 days on this next road trip, and the following road trip we go to Detroit, Philadelphia, and Colorado with an off day in each city. Go figure.
Blanco slaps one the other way. His second hit tonight. A 2-out single brings up David Peralta. That's a difficult stretch. 22 out of 31 on the road.
Right fielder,
That's a David Peralta-like approach that time by Gregor Blanco. Really let that ball get deep into the hitting zone and just lined it out there into left field.
Peralta has twice grounded out, once into a double play. He's 0 for 2. White Sox will have Anderson, the shortstop, play on the first base side of second. And the Almer Sanchez drifts out there into short right field. Yuri Garcia in center, shaded over toward left center field. All right, this is a guy I thought Peralta might have 10 hits tonight against this guy. He's got him to ground out twice so far, but you got to really like the matchup. Especially the way David goes the other way with breaking pitches and off speed stuff. Blanco 3 for 3 to stolen base attempts. Bluffs and holds, and Peralta takes a strike. Giants still leading in Chicago. Wrigley Field 6-4 over the Cubs. They're in the ninth. Rockies 8-1 winners in Philadelphia tonight. Diamondbacks 2 games behind Colorado for the NL West lead coming into play tonight. Here's the 1-1. Rockies got an outstanding start at Citizens Bank Park tonight from Jeff Hoffman, who was the centerpiece of the Troy Tulowitzki trade. Very talented young starting pitcher they got in exchange from the Blue Jays. Spot start for him. He looked good. Blanco holds. Peralta just missed a fastball, and it's 1-2. I love when guys do that, then smell the bat.
Yeah, check the aroma. Yeah, I've talked about it in the past. When you just miss a ball like that, there's a very distinctive odor around home plate. It smells like the old wood burning kits. You know, you can smell horsehide burning, and lingers on the barrel of the bat for a few seconds.
Smells like victory.
Victory.
One-two pitch on the way. High in the air, right center. Larry Garcia is over there in front of Aviciel Garcia. And it is there between the two Garcias. We'll head to the sixth. It's 3-1 D-backs.
6th inning. D-backs lead the White Sox 3-1. It's time to take a look at this day in baseball history, brought to you by Geico. We go back to 1933. Yankee Hall of Fame third baseman Joe Sewell struck out for the very first time this season. He'll end up punching out 4 times in 524 at-bats that year.
That's not a lot of he gone.
Not at all.
Boy, the game has changed. Now you got guys striking out 200 times a year.
Yeah, 4 times in one game.
Miguel Gonzalez, the pitcher, leads off the 6th against Zack Greinke. Zach so far has given up only 2 hits through 5. One of those a Garcia homer. He's only at 62 pitches right now. He's not walked a batter. He's got 8 strikeouts. We go back to Zack Greinke had started San Diego last month, that 1-0 game when he threw that breaking ball into Eric Aybar, who hit it out for a home run, the only run of that ball game, a 1-0 loss. Since then he's unbeaten, 4-0 in his last 5 starts. 46 strikeouts over that span against only 5 walks, and he's got his 9th strikeout tonight.
We've talked about this in past Zack Greinke starts, but he's given up 10 home runs on the season, 9 of them in solo shots. That's a mark of a good pitcher. Going all the way back in the history of this game, guys that have won the Cy Young and led the league in home runs surrendered, but they were mostly solo home runs.
Well, they always say solo homers don't beat you, unless of course you're Eric Aybar. And Oliver Sanchez has struck out twice, and he looks at strike 1. Zack Greinke's high for the season in strikeouts is 11. He's done that twice. Struck out 11 Padres here at Chase Field April 24th. Struck out 11 Pirates in that near no-hitter back on May 11th. Yalmer fouls off the bunt attempt, and he's down 1-2. So this is already the 4th time this year that Greinke has struck out at least 9 in a ball game. 4 times in his last 6 starts, in fact, he's done that. Hard changeup gets away from Greinke, and it's 2-2. He'll mix it up a lot to lefties. That changeup down and away, then he'll try to come in with either that curveball or slider oftentimes. That's the pitch that Garcia hit out for a homer. Sanchez lifts this in the air to center field for Gregor Blanco. 2 outs.
It's been another very efficient, productive night for Zack Greinke already in this ball game. 6-0-2 counts, 4 1-2 counts, 3 outs, 3 or fewer pitch outs 8 times, and he's thrown first pitch strike 15 out of 19 batters.
70 pitches, 50 strikes.
Wow. I mean, on the season, 91% of the time he throws a strike on either the first or second pitch.
Get ahead.
Oh, man.
He struck out Melky Cabrera twice so far. 4 in a row set down by Greinke since the Garcia homer. This is hit pretty well. Deep left field. Fuentes just shy of the track. Zack Greinke through 6 and has 9 strikeouts and a 3-1 lead.
with a 3-1 lead as we head to the bottom of the 6th with Jake Lamb on deck. The Diamondbacks third baseman was named the National League Player of the Week after batting over 400 over the last 5 games. Now, Jake told me he's just out there, quote, having fun, and that it's a great group of guys in the clubhouse and that looseness is carried out on the field. But he did joke, although it sounds easy, the difference right now is he's seen the ball well, hitting those fastballs and swinging at the strikes, taking those balls. As for the difference in his numbers when it comes to facing lefties versus righties, Torrey said while the results aren't there yet, he sees improvement in each of Jake's swing. He said he likes his approach and said it's an easy bet. Jake will figure it out real soon.
Well, he's going to get lots of chances, that's for sure. He was in the starting lineup yesterday against Clayton Richard. Goldie, very aggressive up there early in the count against Gonzalez, and quickly he's down 0-2. Goldie singled and scored his last time up. Came in on the Daniel Descalso 3-run homer. Diamondbacks led it 3-0 after 4. White Sox answered in the 5th, a solo homer by Leury Garcia, the center fielder. White Sox bullpen starts to get it cranked up down there. There's the lefty Dan Jennings. White Sox bullpen in April was very good, but they're short-handed right now. They've had a few injuries back there. Goldie reaches out and shoots one toward the right field corner. Just missed it. Foul, says Ted Barrett.
Well, that must have been close. I always watch the hitter on a ball down that right field line, and Goldie was running hard the whole time. I think he thought that ball was going to stay in fair territory. Unfortunately, just sliced out of play at the very end.
Here comes Torey Lovello to have a word with John Tumpain.
Hit that little side fence there, the green framing on that side fence.
Ted Barrett, the first base umpire, did a good job of getting up that line to make the call. Coming in on Goldie, 1-2. There it goes, way back and gone. That's number 11 for Goldie, and it's 4-1 Diamondbacks.
Miguel Gonzalez and the White Sox were wishing that the other ball stayed fair. It would have only been a double. Tries to come inside on Goldie. Silly boy. Tricks are for kids. 92 inside corner, and Goldie absolutely crushes it.
Yeah, don't go there. His 11th homer, RBI number 35. So he ties Jake Lamb for the team lead in homers with that jumbo jack. And he's now one behind Lammer for the RBI lead. And here's Jake. First pitch slider is strike one. Shift is on for the White Sox. We're talking about Jake Lamb's increased patience at the plate. Really done a good job looking for his pitch. He had a stretch from the middle of April through early May, during which he struck out 33 times in 83 at bats. That's a lot of swing and miss. But since then, he's cut way back on the strikeouts. He's walked 7 times in his last 9 games, in fact, and his on-base percentage over that span is well over 500. He's always been good at laying off the high fastball. Rarely ever chases a fastball up, but lately he's done the same thing with breaking balls just off the plate. Kind of spits on them, waits for a better pitch. Just like that. Slider, he doesn't bite. He's back even 2-2. Bullpen continues to get busy for the White Sox. Chris Beck, the right-hander, joins Dan Jennings, the lefty. Lamb drives one to right center. That'll get to the wall. Jake Lamb digging for second. He's thinking 3, and there he goes.
Jake Lamb, his second triple. National League Player of the Week.
Well, once again, the White Sox have their outfield shaded around to the opposite field for Jake Lamb, leaving that big gap in right center field, and that's right where he hits the ball, right at the 413 mark out there. The White Sox outfielders had to run so far to get to that ball. Jake Lamb ends up at third base.
Yeah, by the time he got to second, he could see that neither Garcia was near the baseball. And so he splits the Garcias for a second triple of the year. Still nobody out. Here's Chris Owings, who has walked and scored, flied out. Infield comes in for the White Sox, down 4-1 here in the sixth. Just missed with a slider. Good take by Chris, and it's 1-1. Now a final at Wrigley. Giants beat the Cubs 6-4. Rockies 8-1 winners over the Phillies at Citizens Bank Park. Out of play. Greinke dialed in. Greinke's pitched 6 innings, given up only 1 run. He's got 9 strikeouts. Now a 4-1 lead with Lamb at third. Abreu backhands it. Lamb stays put, and Owings beats Gonzalez to the bag. I think everybody over there was so distracted by Jake at third. Would he go? Would he stay? That nobody got to the bag in time. And Owings, who runs well, got there first.
Yeah, Gonzalez slow getting off the mound. That set up that entire play, allowing CO to reach safely. And you're right, Abreu checked with Jake Lamb at third base. As we mentioned, Gonzalez was slow getting off the mound, and Chris Owings could see all that right in front of him and realized if I get down this line quickly enough, I can leg this out for an infield hit.
90 pitches. That's the end of the night for Gonzalez, who leaves trailing 4-1. Back after this. Last 4 starts, leaves trailing 4-1, responsible for 2 base runners here. Still nobody out in the 6th inning, and on for the White Sox bullpen is the lefty Dan Jennings. 20 appearances, an ERA over 5. And he gets Jake Lamb at third, Chris Owings at first, nobody out. And the hitter is Daniel Descalso.
Yeah, for Dan Jennings, his last 8 outings, a total of 4 2/3 innings. He's given up 8 runs. Left-handed batters are hitting .320 against him this year.
Well, last time he was up there, Descalso hit one into the pool area. His 4th home run of the year. Let's make it our Cox high-speed highlights. After a Goldie single and a walk to CO, Descalso takes it out of here. That made it 3-0. It's now 4-1, and the D-backs are threatening more. They're on the corners with no outs.
I'll tell you, I'd check their advance report if I were the Chicago White Sox. Now, with a left-handed pitcher on the mound against Daniel Descalso, he's more likely to possibly go to the opposite field. But once again, they're leaving a football-sized gap in right center field for Daniel Descalso.
You mean the place where he just hit the last one?
Yeah.
Leury Garcia is way over in left center.
Yeah, that's where he has played for every left-handed hitter. He was over there for Jake Lamb's triple.
Rick Renteria, the skipper. We have been warned about Mr. Jennings.
You are getting sleepy.
He just comes set and then I don't know, drifts off.
And we're told he does this even when there's nobody on base.
Long sets and just kind of stares in there. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi. And he walks Descalso on 4 pitches to load the bases. Well, I thought Pedro Baez was bad. Here comes Don Cooper, the pitching coach. And another lefty coming up in Ray Fuentes. Bases full, no outs, and 1 run already in. It's been a schizophrenic road trip for these White Sox. It's a 10-gamer. They started out by getting swept in Anaheim. And then they lost the first game in Seattle. That's a 4-game series. They won the next 3 Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So it's been kind of a weird trip like that. They're 3-4 on the 10-game trip, coming into 3 games here. 20-22 on the year. They're only 3 games behind Minnesota and Cleveland for the Central Division lead in the American League. 2 games under 500. So bases loaded, no outs. Here's Ray Fuentes, who's 0 for 2. Infield in for the White Sox. Slider from Jennings missed. It's 1-0.
Oh, and the Diamondbacks have been exceptional this year with the bases loaded as a team, hitting .303 in these situations with 7 walks and a grand slam.
Lamb is at third, Owings at second, and Descalso at first. Leury Garcia now in center field, even more over toward left center. Avisail Garcia well off the line in right. Fuentes hits a broken bat up the middle. Anderson coming home, and Narvaez dropped the ball. The force was on. He couldn't get the mid on the baseball, and Lamb scores to make it 5-1. Little broken bat dribbler up the middle, and a run comes in.
Yeah, it looked like the bat may have come into play there for the 2nd time in 2 days. Just could not corral that ball. I'm not sure. White Sox are still taking a look at the replay before they decide whether they want to challenge this play at the plate. And Rich Renteria says yes, indeed, they do want to challenge.
Well, he's trying to avoid the big inning here because this would essentially be the ball game, I imagine. But it was pretty clear that Narvaez did not have the baseball. How long does he have to hold the ball technically?
Longer than that.
Let's see. Hey, I mean, that's.
Yeah, so he still doesn't have command of that baseball. It's on the ground. Yeah, he should be safe. Yeah.
By the Chicago White Sox.
I know that Jake came in with that front foot up, which is one thing that drives you nuts.
Yeah.
Because you can see that foot sliding over the plate, not touching it.
He's not a great slider anywhere on the field. I still think he was safe that time. I mentioned the bat involved in the play right there. You could clearly see it right in front of home plate. And the ball game yesterday in San Diego, T.J. McFarland tried to scoop a ball and glove to glove flip to home plate, and the ball hit the bat. It was laying right beside the on deck circle.
They have put an error up on the board for the White Sox, their second tonight. John Tumpane, the plate umpire, on the right of your screen there a moment ago. The crew chief Ted Barrett comes over from first.
I don't think he ever had control of that ball until well after Jake Lamb had stood up from his slide.
Well, the thing is, if you look at the replay, he smothers the ball in the mitt, but you can't tell definitively that he picked it up and got the glove on the ball.
Well, the high home angle that they're showing here at the ballpark right now, you can clearly see the ball laying on the ground as he swats at it a second time. And the ball is actually dragging along the dirt as he had it kind of up in the very tip of the webbing.
Well, the result is in from New York. Probably worth the challenge at this point of the game for Renteria. Down 5-1 with the bases still full and nobody out. Here's a look at the catcher, Omar Narvaez.
It's the third time Ted Barrett has done that, so I'm not biting this time.
Builds the suspense.
There we go.
Safe at home, the run scores. 5-1 Diamondbacks.
Is safe at home plate. The call stands.
Here comes Rick Renteria to go get his left-hander. Here's one more look at Narvaez. Now, you can't overturn a call based on that. No. So the Diamondbacks, 2 runs in the inning, bases still loaded, still no outs. We've got tacos. We'll take a break from Chase Field. Tripled. Chris Owings is singled. We're a double away from the cycle in this inning. Diamondbacks lead 5-1. The bases are loaded. Still no outs. So Chris Beck, the right-hander, inherits this mess. His 9th appearance of the year, a 4.15 ERA, called up from AAA Charlotte near the end of April.
Jeff Mathis is the hitter. 2 runs already in. Infield stays in for Chicago. Breaking ball, and it's 0-1. Mathis has been up there twice, struck out twice. E6 was the scoring on that play. The error on the shortstop Anderson for that throw to home. Lays off the slider, and it's 1-1. Mathis has hit safely in 3 straight games in each of his last 5 starts. Chance to put up a big crooked number right here. Greinke, the pitcher, on deck. Fastball up, can't lay off, and it's 1-2. Miguel Gonzalez, a rough night. Goldie started off this inning with a home run, his 11th of the year. Mathis hitless in 2 strikeouts this season. Lays off a fastball, and he's back even 2-2. Chris Beck has allowed a run in 4 of his 8 appearances this year. He's given up multiple hits 5 times. Called up for the minors with some of the injuries to the White Sox bullpen. Chris Owings is at third, Daniel Descalso at second, and Ray Fuentes at first. 2-2 to Jeff Mathis. Mathis has come back to work it full. Greinke would be next. Out of play. Everything else across the major league schedule tonight is done. This is the only game still going. Giants won at Wrigley 6-4. Rockies won in Philly 8-1. Bases loaded, nobody out. 3-2 to Jeff Mathis. Bounce to third. Frazier coming home. They get 1, and they turn 2. 5-2-3 double play.
Frazier really took his time to make sure he made a good throw to home plate that time to at least get the lead runner and keep that run off the board. Narvaez with a big strong throw down there to first base. Torlavello giving Alan Campbell a chance to take a look at that play at first base to see if they did get Mathis.
Well, that's a big ground ball right there from the right-hander Chris Beck. And now you've got Descalso at third, Fuentes at second, 2 outs, and Greinke is the hitter. Chris Beck comes in trying to get the White Sox out of a bases loaded, no out jam.
Fastball missed up, and it's 2-0.
Well, Zach looking to add to that lead in the ball game here. Not that he really needs much more support. You go back to the 2013 season in the middle of June. Since then, when he's had 3 or more runs of support, he's 56-1. Well, a couple more wouldn't hurt anything.
You never know what you're going to get when you get two teams like this who never see each other. Players have come and gone on both sides since the last time we played the White Sox.
Now, these are the kind of series you do a lot of video work.
White Sox haven't played here since June 2011. Diamondbacks took 2 of 3 in Chicago last time we played these guys, May of 2014. So it was 3 years ago. Fastball's in there, and it's 2-2. Big shake of the head there from Zach Greinke. Shortstop Tim Anderson has it. Well, A+ gold star for Chris Beck, but the Diamondbacks still able to get 2 in the inning. Goldie got it started, the solo homer, his 11th of the year. We'll head to the 7th. It's 5-1 Diamondbacks. Inning with a 5-1 lead. Hey fans, have you heard the news? A great new way to get to Chase Field very inexpensively this summer. It's called the Ballpark Summer Pass. And when you buy the Summer Pass online at dbacks.com/summer, you'll get every home game in June and July for only $50. That's 25 home games for $50. Let me do the quick math here. Carry the 4. That's $2 a game.
Yeah.
Limited quantities are available, so get it now online, dbacks.com/ballpark. And the Ballpark Summer Pass. This is an incredible deal. It delivers tickets directly to your mobile device through the MLB.com Ballpark app. Guarantees you a ticket and the outfield reserve seating area for every home game in June and July. Jose Abreu leads off the 7th against Greinke. Now, if you want, you can upgrade. You just do it all through the app. So you just you know, click on your screen, hit some buttons, and bang, there's your ticket to the game for $2. If you go 25
If you go 25 times, and even if you don't, even if you go to 5 games, for crying out loud. That's
5 games for $50.
Yeah.
Chris Owings, tough play, spins and throws. There's some COD. Chris Owings at shortstop, 1 away.
Boy, Another range check. He's not even in your picture right there. There he comes. Chris Owings streaking up the middle of the field. Spin move and a strike to Goldie for the out. Nicely done.
You know, I still like the Craig Biggio comp.
Yeah.
For Chris Owings. He just reminds you. Plays a very similar way. They look the same. Greinke's now retired 6 in a row since the Leury Garcia homer. And here's Avisail Garcia, the American League's leading hitter, but tonight he's 0 for 2.
Or as I like to call him, A. Garcia.
As opposed to the Garcias. There are 3. There's Avisail. There's Leury.
That's L. Garcia.
And then, of course, there's Willie Garcia.
That's Willie Garcia. Willie I can hand.
They are capable of having an all Garcia outfield.
And they have had a
Should
all
they
Garcia.
so choose,
Yeah.
yes. But boy, there's been a lot of talk about the ballpark summer pass. A lot of people have asked me about it. Just today they heard about it over the weekend. Guarantee yourself a seat for every home game in June and July. $50, you go to as many games as you want. And if you want, you can upgrade your seat. You do it all through the app. So if you're handy with the mobile phone, a couple of clicks and you're in the ballpark.
Click, click, click.
Or you go to your www computer and do it all there. Using the MLB.com ballpark app. dbacks.com/ballpark. Greinke tonight has not walked a batter. He's got 9 strikeouts. 1-2 on Avisail Garcia. Garcia, you know, his first several seasons in Chicago, for a guy who's leading the league in hitting, he really didn't do very much at all. He played full seasons the last 2 years, the White Sox. He's hit .257, .245, total just 25 homers over those 2 years. But now on his way to a breakthrough season, he got very serious about his diet. He lost 20 pounds. He'll turn 26 years old next month. And that's strikeout number 10 for Zack Greinke. His third double-digit strikeout game tonight.
Sorry, partner. I just wanted to alert the fans that the day after every D-backs win, you get 50% off all pizzas at regular menu price using promo code DBACKS50 at papajohns.com.
Zach's high for the season, 11 strikeouts. He's done that twice. Here's the third baseman, Todd Frazier, 0 for 2. Zack Greinke has been very efficient tonight, now at 80 pitches, 56 for strikes through 6 2/3. Coming off an 11-pitch 6th. Zack had a 10-pitch first, a 9-pitch second, and 2 11-pitch innings. '27th career game for Zack Greinke with double-digit strikeouts. Entering today, Greinke was 21-2 with a 1.61 ERA when he puts up at least 10 strikeouts in a game. Look out for the bat, Jake Lamb. Don't hit the player of the week. Will these White Sox stop at nothing?
That's what happens when you get fooled on an off-speed pitch. You try to extend your swing, you loosen the grip on the bat to try to get a little more extension, and that time it just went flying to the left side of the infield. You laugh about it now.
Chris Owings over there spotting him now. 2-2 on Todd Frazier. Did he go? No, he didn't, says Ted Barrett. And the count is full 3-2. Yeri Garcia, who homered his last time up for the White Sox only run tonight, is on deck. He walked him. First base on balls issued by Greinke tonight. That ends a stretch of 7 straight he'd retired, and now he'll work to Garcia.
Center fielder.
Fans may actually remember Todd Frazier when he was just a youngster playing for the Toms River team that won the Little League World Series in 1998.
Toms River, New Jersey.
Yeah, went 4 for 4 with a home run and actually got the last out of the ball game on the mound.
Went on to a collegiate career at Rutgers. And then a first-round pick by the Reds in 07. First pitch is chopped to second. Descalso's there, and Greinke's through 7 with a 5-1 lead. We will stretch at Chase Field. Diamondbacks lead the White Sox 5-1. Chase Field, they lead the White Sox 5-1 as we start the home half of the 7th inning, the first of a 3-game set against Chicago. And it's back on the road for an 11-game road trip. Game 2 tomorrow night. What's next brought to you by CenturyLink. Patrick Corbin gets the baseball against right-hander Dylan Covey. Diamondback Live pregame show at 6 o'clock on Fox Sports Arizona. On there to start the bottom of the 7th for the White Sox, it's former Diamondback great David Holmberg.
Leading off for the D-backs, center field.
A one-time D-back. Gregor Blanco will lead it off. Here's the left-hander Holmberg, who was a second-round pick by the White Sox in 09. And then traded along with Daniel Hudson here to the Diamondbacks a year later for Edwin Jackson. And he found his way back to Chicago. Blanco's had a good night. A pair of singles. He's 2 for 3. David Holmberg appeared in exactly 1 game in his Diamondback career back in 2013. Made a start, went only 3 2/3, gave up 3 runs on 6 hits.
I think he would fall into that category of a crafty lefty. You saw the big breaking ball to start this sequence. Has a fastball that'll touch the low 90s, but his best pitch is that straight changeup.
Blanco hits one pretty deep center field. Yeri Garcia backing up under the home run porch. And he's got it just shy of the warning track, 1 away.
Right fielder, David
Holmberg was involved in the trade that sent Heath Bell, the Heath Bell experience, from the Diamondbacks to Tampa Bay. after the 2013 season. The Reds were involved in that deal. They sent Ryan Hannigan, the catcher, to Tampa Bay. Diamondbacks got Todd Glazman. Holmberg ended up in Cincinnati, where he pitched 2 years. Did not pitch in the major leagues last season. Peralta for 3 tonight. Abreu at first. Underhand toss to Holmberg. 2 down. Our Chaz Roberts, air conditioning and plumbing, cool play of the game. Goldie to lead off the 6th.
Anytime you can get an opposing pitcher to challenge Goldie inside with a fastball, that's going to be our cool play of the game.
Well, he's had a cool night. He has singled, homered, and scored twice. Now tied with Jake Lamb for the team lead, 11 home runs. D-backs have out hit the White Sox 7-2. They lead at 5-1. Homers tonight from Descalso and Goldschmidt. Descalso had a 3-run shot in the 4th that at the time made it 3-0. White Sox answered in the 5th. Leury Garcia solo homers, 5th of the year. Diamondbacks added 2 more in the 6th. Dribbler up the middle. Tim Anderson, the shortstop's on it, and Holmberg makes short work of the Diamondbacks in the 7th. We'll head to the 8th. It's 5-1 D-backs. To 1. Fans in support of Mental Health Month, Fox Sports Supports is proud to team up with NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and its commitment to replacing stigma with hope and improving the lives of families and those affected by mental health conditions. You can learn more about how to be stigma-free by visiting foxsportsupports.com. Zack Greinke so far has given up only 1 run on 2 hits. He has walked 1 and struck out 10. And at just under 90 pitches, he's back out there to start the 8th inning against the White Sox shortstop Tim Anderson, who has faced Greinke twice and struck out twice. Quickly 0-2.
How many times have you said that tonight? Man, he's just jumping ahead of everybody in this White Sox lineup.
88 pitches, 61 strikes.
Well, we mentioned it earlier with Randall Delgado taking the start on Wednesday. You'd really like to get some length out of Zack Greinke and Patrick Corbin tonight and tomorrow night, and Zack holding up his end of the deal here.
We'll see how long Torrey lets him go. Patrick gets the baseball tomorrow night. Greinke's high pitch count for a season is 107. He's done that 3 times. That's out of play.
He's just amazing. When he's on top of his game, that's exactly where he wanted to throw that slider. That's tough for a pitcher to do, to pick a target that's going to end up with the ball in the dirt right off the edge of the outside corner, but he's able to do it when he's ahead in the count and get guys to chase that pitch. Like that.
And that matches Greinke's season high, the 3rd time this year he has struck out 11 in a ball game.
Couldn't get Anderson to fish for it on the pitch before, but comes right back with the same pitch in the same location, gets the swing and a miss.
Omar Narvaez.
Greinke has now struck out 11 batters 3 times in his last 6 starts, counting tonight. Omar Narvaez, the catcher, has singled and grounded out, 1 for 2. White Sox still with only 2 hits.
And the amazing thing about it is racking up 11 strikeouts, but yet keeping your pitch count down. Most of the time strikeouts mean high pitch count.
11 strikeouts here against the Padres April 24th. He threw 97 pitches in 6 innings. Narvaez, 2 of the 3 White Sox hits now. He drops one into right center. Tyler Saladino is in the on-deck circle. He's been recalled now. And former Diamondback first-round pick Matt Davidson will hit. Davidson having a good year. He's tied for the team lead with 8 home runs.
For David Homer, number 24, Matt Davidson.
Davidson, a 5-game hitting streak. He's homered twice in his last 4 games. 245 and 8 homers. Still strikes out a bunch, but a first-round pick by the D-backs back in 2009. The 35th overall selection out of high school in California. Rick Renteria trying to get back in this game with 1 swing here. Narvaez at first, 1 out. Here's Davidson to hit for the pitcher, Holmberg. Still a whole bunch of swing and miss in Matt Davidson's game. He has struck out 41 times in 102 at bats this year. But he's starting to develop that power now at the age of 26. To third, Lamb backhands it. There's 1, and there's 2. The Diamondbacks turn the 5-4-3, and Greinke is through 8 with a 5-1 lead.
Game show coming up right after this game here tonight. Brandon Webb, I was just looking at my notes. I think you were dialed in on Zack Greinke from that 10-pitch first inning, weren't you?
Yeah, I've just been amazed. I mean, every time I've been watching him, he's just dotting every pitch. He's just throwing right exactly where he wants it to. He's keeping his pitch count down. Got 10 punch outs, like BB just said. He's been able to do that and keep his pitch count down, which has been amazing.
All right, we'll talk about that and the offensive outbursts, hopefully at the conclusion of a Diamondbacks victory, but that's up to you and Steve. Bring it home, Bob Brenly.
We'll do what we can, Todd. Thank you.
Zack Greinke so far through 8 innings has given up just 1 run on 3 hits. He's walked 1. He's tied his season high with 11 strikeouts. And the bullpen will start to get busy down there for Torey Lovullo. Bullpen's been busy all night for Rick Renteria. Here's the big right-hander, Michael Inoue. His 13th appearance of the year, a 3.24 ERA. Jake Lamb leads off the 8th inning. He tripled and scored his last time up.
Boy, the numbers for Zack Greinke are just mind-boggling. 13 outs tonight on 3 pitches or fewer. Of the 11 strikeouts he has in this game, 4 of them came on 3 pitches and 3 of them came on 4 pitches.
Well, the top of the order will be due up for the White Sox in the 9th inning. You see Archie Bradley starting to get loose down there. Zack Greinke trying to win his 4th consecutive start. He would improve to 6-2 on the year. Three 3-0 on Jake Lamb with Chris Owings on deck. White Sox again have the shift on against Lamb. They give Jake the entire left-hand side.
And the entire right center field gap.
Yeah, it's backwards. Lays off a high fastball. He will just never chase that pitch. He works the leadoff walk.
Now Chris Owings making his way to the plate, and you made the comp with Craig Biggio, and I think that's very accurate. That physically they look a lot alike. Early in his career, Craig Biggio was extremely fast, just like Chris Owings is now. The one big difference, however.
You're going to say walks?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Hit by pitch. Chris Owings has been hit 8 times in his career. Craig Biggio 285.
You just got to want it, I guess. That's all. Well, he almost got hit with that one. Sort of.
Biggio had 14 seasons when he got hit more than 8 times.
Like, what's the deal with that?
Well, he used to crowd that plate from the right side. He had body armor on his elbow, on his wrist, on his knee, on his ankle, and he wasn't afraid to take one for the team.
Must have played against the Pirates a lot.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Archie Bradley getting fired up down in the bullpen. 1-1 on Chris Owings. Lamb at first. Look out. Narvaez barely able to stop that one. It was flying toward the backstop. Hard slider at 85. Chris tonight has walked, singled, scored a run. That's along the right field line. Abreu. Sanchez. Abreu has got it. Elmer Sanchez ran right into him, but the size of Jose Abreu, he's not going to be rattled by that at 6'3", 255.
Second baseman, Daniel Descalso.
Daniel Descalso now has grounded out, homered, and walked. The home run, a 3-run shot in the 4th, his 4th of the year. broke a scoreless tie at that point. Diamondbacks tacked on 2 more in the 6th, including a Goldie home run. Once again, Todd Frazier, the only White Sox infielder on the left-hand side, midway between 2nd and 3rd. And again, Leury Garcia is shaded over toward left center field. Everything near the pool is wide open, although you see Avisaíl Garcia well off the line in right. Rick Renteria, we're told, has done a very good job with this White Sox club as they start a rebuilding process. He has really energized the club. Everybody runs hard, we're told. And that's something that they've been looking for and lacking. They lacked that a little bit under Robin Ventura. Remember, Rick Renteria was the manager of the Chicago Cubs when Joe Madden suddenly got out of his deal in Tampa Bay, and suddenly Rick Renteria was out of a job. But he's back in Chicago now and ready to begin a rebuilding process with GM Rick Hahn and these White Sox.
Yeah, from everything we've heard, they're going to give Rick Renteria the opportunity to oversee the rebuilding and then hopefully be there when things turn around for the White Sox at the other end.
They have some very talented minor league prospects. 1-2 on Descalso. Chases a curveball and strikes out. Yeah, Rick Hahn over the winter did a tremendous job of restocking their farm system.
Spike curveball there with a lot of downward movement. Daniel Descalso just can't hold up. I tell you, he knows a handful out there. 6'7". Very tough on right-handed hitters. He's held them to a 176 average this season.
He gives Rick Renteria some length down there as well. There's Ray Fuentes. He's gone at least 2 innings 6 times this year. Michael E. Noah. Ray trying to get that bat going. 2 for 18 as a Diamondback so far. Got Jake Lamb at first and 2 outs. Archie Bradley still warming up at the D-back bullpen. Lamb takes off for second, swing and a miss by Fuentes, and Jake Lamb is out of there. Narvaez throws him out. Torey Lovullo on the top step of the dugout saying hold on, he's got 30 seconds. No challenge from the Diamondbacks. Lamb is out. We'll head to the 9th. Diamondbacks up 5-1. Diamondbacks ace Zach Greinke. He has given up only 1 run on 3 hits. He's worked 8 innings, walked 1, and tied his season high with 11 strikeouts.
Well, every time we've seen Zach over the last 3 weeks, we say, man, was he on top of his game tonight? Say it again tonight. Command was outstanding. Used all of his pitches from the first inning right up until the 9th.
Well, he's in position to win his 4th consecutive start, and he's back out there to start the 9th inning at 95 pitches. Yolmer Sanchez, the leadoff man, leads off the White Sox 9th.
Zach does have 1 complete game this year. However, it was in a losing effort against the Padres. That was that great pitchers duel with Jhoulys Chacín. Ended up a 1-0 Padres victory on that Eric Ibar home run. Ooh, who can forget that?
His other complete game as a Diamondback was a shutout of the Tampa Bay Rays here at Chase Field last June 7th. Remarkably, he only had 2 strikeouts in that game. 9 scoreless innings, gave up only 3 hits. Archie Bradley still warming up in the D-back bullpen. Greinke now at 98 pitches. His high for the year is 107. He's done that 3 times. One and 2 on Yolmer Sanchez. Brandon Webb, Tom Walsh standing by. Diamondback Live postgame show follows our ball game. Pitch number 100 on the night from Zach Greinke coming up. Got him. A new season high. An Ephus curveball at 65 is strikeout number 12.
Well, 4th at bat in the ball game. Let me throw him something he hasn't seen yet. Look at that balloon.
Melky Cabrera now 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. 12 strikeouts for Zach Greinke, his new high not only this season but as a Diamondback. Descalso from the outfield grass, 2 down. The only White Sox run, a solo homer by Leury Garcia with 1 out in the 5th inning. That has been all the Chicago offense tonight as Jose Abreu steps up. This win would make Zach Greinke 5-0 in his last 7 starts. In there for a strike, curveball, and it's 0-1. Belted into left. Fuentes plays it off the wall, and Jose Abreu is in there with his 9th double. Just the 4th White Sox hit tonight off Zach Greinke. Here comes Torey Lovullo.
This might have been one of those situations where he sent Zach out there like he's done many times this year and said, if anybody gets on, I'm going to have to come and get you.
Well, the fans don't love this, but they should give Greinke a tremendous ovation as he walks off the mound. He pitched an absolute gem here tonight. watch Zach Greinke throw a beauty here tonight, but they've gone to Archie Bradley to get the final out. It's our Ashline call to the bullpen. Archie, 5 of his last 6 appearances have been scoreless. He's got at least 1 strikeout in all 12 games this year. And he's on with 2 outs to face Avisail Garcia.
Yeah, Archie has not pitched since the last time Zach Greinke started. Came in through an inning against the Mets back on the 16th. So he just wants to get Archie involved in the action again here.
Garcia came into tonight leading the American League in hitting at .350. But he's 0 for 3. Abreu at second and 2 outs. 1 pitch from Bradley will do the trick. And the Diamondbacks win it. Zach Greinke strikes out a Diamondback high and season high 12 batters tonight. He walked only 1, and Greinke has been the ace. He wins his 4th consecutive start.
Getting the back rub from Yasmani Tomas right there, and rightfully so. Zach Greinke on top of his game once again here tonight. Just continues to add to those impressive totals that he's racked up over the last 5 or 6 starts.
Well, I'm sure Webby is anxious to get to the videotape and break this one down. Brandon Webb is indeed standing by with Todd Walsh. Todd.
Don't let him know that there isn't videotape. I don't want to cloud the issue here. All right, Brandon, listen, you promised to win tonight. We talked about Zach Greinke, the guy you're looking at right now as he makes his way off the field and into the Diamondbacks clubhouse. The fact that he's the ace, the #1. They had that 5-game winning streak snapped in San Diego on Sunday. So what's the ace supposed to do? And he did it, right?
He absolutely did it. He's been doing it for the last 5-6 games now. Just looked outstanding. Command of all the pitches tonight were just plus. It was amazing outing by him.
You wanted him to finish the deal too, didn't you?
I really wanted to get the complete game.
All right. Okay, we'll take a short break. Our coverage continues here as it always does on Fox Sports Arizona with our post-game show that's around the corner. We'll talk about Zach's night. We'll break it down with Bob Brenly. We'll hear from him. Kate Longworth will be inside the Diamondbacks clubhouse along with skipper Torey Lovello. Let's do all that in the wake of a 5-1 win in Game 1 of this 3-game series and Game 1 of a brief 3-game homestand. Diamondbacks live around the corner from Chase Field right after this.